It's official, ladies and gentlemen. We broke the builder. Another build with legend badges in 5 different categories. Legend playmaking, legend rebounding, legend physicals, legend defensive, and legend finishing. Now, I showcased it in my latest video, Vecna, but you guys haven't seen it. Here it is right here. But I want you guys to know something. We strategically and scientifically glitched out the defensive cap breakers and the rebounding cap breakers. So this isn't a build video. This is the build video. This will be the most important video in NBA 2K history when it comes to building because we had deciphered the My Player Builder down to an exact science. Give me 15 minutes of your time, and I promise you that you will know how to dictate where your cap breakers go and how to always glitch them out. Now, let's go back to my crib. The Build King is in the building. Now, before we start Algebra 2, let's recap on Algebra 1. I'm the founder of the first cap breaker method, the method where you can tell which cap breakers are glitched out by lowering your free throw. You see when we lower our free throw here, these attributes that come unlocked are going to get glitchy cap breakers. They're not going to get +1s or +2s, they're going to get a whole lot more. Now, we're going to lower our free throw some more, and more attributes come unlocked. Now, on this build, I want y'all to know that drive and dunk goes from an 80 to a 94. I would consider that glitched out, but we got lowered the free throw by a lot, and it has not come unlocked. Why is that? Well, let's keep lowering the free throw and finally upgrade it. And when you upgrade it, you see that you're not just upgrading drive and dunk. You're upgrading drive and dunk plus drive and layup, plus close shot, plus standing dunk. So, you really don't know the cost of the drive and dunk. You want to know the cost of the drive and dunk. Lower the drive and dunk by 1, so it's not upgrading all these other attributes. And now, let's retry this. Lower the free throw, and drive and dunk comes a lot early. So our drive and dunk is properly glitched out, and that's how we were able to tell. It goes from an 80 to a 94 on this build. That is a refresher of the original cap breaker method. It is a great method to save time. As a result, people spent more time actually labbing the builder instead of watching the, actually, I'm trying to go hoop in the city for a little bit cutscene over and over again. However, Cap Breakers Part 2 is not a time saver. It is a game changer. Because you see, in Cap Breakers Part 1, we started at the end and worked backwards. What do I mean by that? We started at 99 overall, then lowered our overall and our attributes to see where the glitchy cap breakers went. I got to thinking, what if we do the opposite? What if we clear the board, start at 25 overall, and start raising our attributes to see where the cap breakers go? And see, you can actually determine where your cap breakers go. And yes, you can do that. I'm going to show you guys how in this video. But first, let's go over everything we probably already know. When you upgrade your 3-ball, it upgrades your mid-range, right? And vice versa. You upgrade your mid-range high enough, it's going to start upgrading your 3-ball. These two are connected like brothers and sisters. Same thing for perimeter defense and agility. You upgrade your perimeter, it starts upgrading your agility, and vice versa. These things are connected like brothers and sisters. Same thing with your speed with ball and your speed. When you upgrade your speed with ball, it upgrades your speed, and vice versa. These things are connected like brothers and sisters. This is very important. I need you to keep this in mind. Of course, like I said, you already knew this, but you didn't know how to capitalize off of it. Stay tuned. I'm going to teach you how. If I ask you to make me a 6'8" shooting guard with glitchy cap breakers on playmaking, what will you do? You'll probably do what everyone else does and make something like this. You'll keep your playmaking attributes low and raise all your other attributes. You'll get the finishing high enough so you can get the floater you want or the contact dunks. You'll get the shooting high enough so you can score at all levels. You'll get the defense high enough so you can guard anyone and everyone. You'll get rebounding just in case you need it, but then you'll also get maxed out physicals. Then you'll go over here, you'll lower the free throw, and you'll see that, yep, the playmaking cap breakers are there. You're good to go. Everything you want. Great job. But have you ever wondered why some people get super glitchy cap breakers on playmaking while other people go regular? I will explain and show that to you later in this video. But first, let's do something a little bit more challenging. Let's go for cap breakers on drive and dunk and block. 2 different categories. How would you go about those? Well, you would probably lower the drive and dunk, raise the block, and then you start upgrading other things, right? Well, that's not how you're supposed to do it. I'm going to show you how you're supposed to do it. First, we got to clear everything to level 25. And we got to see how everything connects. Starting from scratch like the world's best chef. Now, we go over here to the drive and dunk. We're going to raise the drive and dunk, and we see that close shot, driving layup, and vertical are all connected together like what? Brothers and sisters. Remember, I said that earlier. Now, drive and dunk can get glitched out at multiple levels. You've seen people glitched out from 76 to 96, 83 to 96. And you might be like, why do some people get super glitchy, other people get like decently glitchy, and whatever the case may be? This is the reason why. It is your close shot, driving layup, and vertical. These are the 3 attributes. The lower those attributes are, the glitchier your drive and dunk will be. That is what you need to know. If you do not track right now, don't worry. You will understand by the end of this video. Let's clear the board, and let's go look at block. On block, we upgrade our block, right? It upgrades our interior defense, defensive rebound, and vertical. So you want glitchy block cap breakers, what should you do? You should keep your interior defense as low as possible, your defensive rebound as low as possible, and your vertical as low as possible. The lower these are, the glitchier your block cap breakers will be. Now, an interesting thing is that vertical is a bridge between these two things. So block and drive and dunk don't have anything related to each other. They're on the different side of the court. But vertical connects them both. So you could think of block and drive and dunk as half brothers. They're half related, and vertical will be the parent that connect them, the full blood mother or father, whatever the case may be. That is something you also need to think of. So you lower your vertical, it will help both your block and your drive and dunk rating. Although you do want the vertical to be high because you need it for the badges, right? So it's very tricky, but stay with me now. I'm going to show you guys some actual examples. So this is my lockdown defender build. On this build, we glitched out drive and dunk to go from a 76 up to a 96, and we glitched out block to go from a 56 up to an 84. Now, look at the brothers and sisters of drive and dunk. The close shot, the drive and layup. You see how low those are? That increases our drive and dunk cat breaker glitchiness. So that's why we're able to go up from 76 to 96. Other people, if they got high close shot, high drive and layup, they won't get these cat breakers be as glitchy. You might only go from a 76 to a 93 or a 76 up to an 89. Does that make sense? We go look at block here. Let's go look at the brothers and sisters of block. Interior defense is 70, and defensive rebound was a 54. We cat braked it up to a 60, right? So those were both super low. That allowed us to get the glitchy cat breakers on block to go from a 56 up to an 84. Now you might be looking like, what about the parent vertical? Because the brothers and sisters were so low, we were able to get the parent, which is vertical, all the way up to where we needed it, which is 85 for the contact dunk animations, Hall of Fame posterizer, Hall of Fame pogo stick, and high flying denier. Does that make sense? Did I lose you? Are you following me? This is the moment you should click in your brain, and that you should click the follow button or subscribe button. I do not get paid for this, but once I hit 10,000 followers on TikTok or 1,000 subscribers on YT, I will be able to get paid for this. It would be greatly appreciated if you help me reach those goals. If you understand now, leave a comment with the number 1 so I can know when it registered for you. Now let's do another example. Back in the builder with the build you guys made for me earlier, the one that got the glitchy cat breakers on playmaking. Now, I changed my mind. I'm one of those guys, you know. I went there, I ordered something, I didn't like how it came out. Send it back. I want glitchy cat breakers on steel. How will you go about getting those glitchy cat breakers on steel for me? If you just said lower the steel rating, come see me after class, you're about to fail. You have not been paying attention. You do not lower the steel rating. You lower the overalls to 25, then you raise the steel rating, and you see what the brothers and sisters are. So we're going to be looking for interior defense, perimeter, and steel. Now you see how agility came undone? It's not tied to steel, it's tied to perimeter defense. So remember I showed you that thing in Cat Breakers Part 1, how you guys made that mistake of associating the drive and dunk to being expensive, but not, understand that it's tied to close shot, drive and layup, standing dunk. You got to understand that the steel and agility aren't really tied together like brothers and sisters. You could make a connection with the half-brother stuff, but this is perimeter defense and agility that's causing this. I wanted to make sure I show you guys that in this video, so if you guys are having any trouble, I could make a whole list Cat Breaker Part 3 about which attributes are tied to which. Another thing I want to say, drive and dunk and standing dunk may or may not be tied together. I had to do a little bit more testing. This is a very interesting one. I didn't talk about it earlier, but just I want to make sure that's all out there. But let's go ahead and dive into the build and show you guys the actual example. Here's my infamous Anthony Edwards build. No, this is not the build you guys saw earlier. This is a different build. This build gets legend finishing, legend playmaking, legend defensive, legend shooting, and legend physical badges. That's 5 categories, but it didn't have rebounding like the power forward one I showed you guys earlier. We'll get to that power forward one, don't you guys worry. But let's go here with the Anthony Edwards build. On this build, we glitched out drive and dunk to go from an 83 to a 96. Why didn't we go 76 to a 96? Well, because the close shot and the drive and layup are higher. Why are they higher? Because the close shot's tied to our mid-range, and our drive and layup is tied to our ball handle. So when we upgraded those attributes, the mid-range and the ball handle, it upgraded those attributes, right? The close shot and the drive and layup. So in result, we got less cat breakers getting glitched out on our drive and dunk, although they have the same exact 85 rating for the parent attribute, right? The lockdown and the Ant-Man Edwards build. Now we look at the steel, which goes from a 60 up to an 86. This 86 steel is what I will get when I get veteran 2. I'm going to put my cat breakers here. But why were we able to get glitchy cat breakers here on steel? Because our perimeter, 89 may seem high. It's a decent level up. But it's tied to steel, so you could go up to 90. But the interior defense is so low, and the steel rating itself is low. So you also got to account for the steel rating itself, whatever attribute you're also glitching out in the cat breaker formula. That's why you want to keep this attribute as low as possible so you can get maximum glitchiness as well. Does that make sense? Are you following? Are you subscribing? Are you understanding it now? If you understand it now, leave a comment with the number 2 in it so I can see when it finally clicked for you. And be sure to click that like button. Now, let's go do another example. So back with the build, we start the video off with the Vecna build. Just like Ant-Man, legend badges in 5 different categories. I showed you guys that earlier. But let's look at these attributes. So on this one, we glitched out steal, block, perimeter, and defense. Now, I think this is the best combination you can do on the game. Now, some of you guys are going to take this information and try to go do the impossible. I'm not going to say it's impossible, really, because I tried it. I couldn't find it. But you're going to try to glitch out drive and dunk, 3-ball, speed with ball, perimeter defense, steal, defense, rebound, speed, and agility all at once. I wish you luck. If you find it, hey, please let me know. But I don't think that's possible. From what I'm understanding, the game will restrict you to certain combinations. I want to do a Cat Breakers Part 3, where I'll show you guys the best combination. We go height by height, because that seems to be the determining factor on the combinations. For example, 6'8s are super easy to do, so are 6'5 and 6'6 when it comes to getting glitchy Cat Breakers. 6'7 and 6'9s are very, very tricky. But now that I know the Cat Breaker method like this, I'm able to do 6'7 and 6'9s very easily now. But one thing I will say is, this power forward with the ability to get defense and rebounding seems very tough to do, but it's not that difficult. The reason why is because these attributes are all kind of tied together. So you guys saw how steal was already tied to perimeter and interior. Well, interior is tied to block, and then this stuff is tied to defensive rebound. So since they're all tied together already, they're not even like regular brothers and sisters. They're like Siamese twins. So basically, once you get them low enough, you help the other one get more glitchy Cat Breakers. That's why this one goes together so well. So, with that being said, we knew we were going to glitch out not only the defense, but also the defensive rebounding. That allowed us to go crazy on the offensive side of the ball. That's why we get the 91 contact, well, 91 dunk. I'm going to get this up to 96 eventually. And then, you know, the maxed out shooting for this height and wingspan, the elite playmaking, all that. So, I hope that gives you guys an understanding on how we were able to make this build. But I want to show you guys something real quick about these blocks. So a lot of people are saying the block's too low. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise that 79 is a good rating. I think 84 is like the minimum. I went below minimum because I want the 94 still. I need that badly. But 93 is actually the sweet spot. 93 block with the 77 interior is where you really want. But it's tough to get. Why? Because once you try to erase this block or any of these attributes, since they're so closely related, like Siamese twins, it really starts making the build tough. That's why I couldn't get 88 vertical. I wanted 88 vertical for pogo stick. If I want to move up to 88 vertical, well, I don't get well, I start losing the Cat Breakers on block and steal and all that, right? So it gets very, very tricky because remember, they're all so closely related to each other. But I want you to know that it is possible to get the 93 block and the 77 interior. And I have a build I did like that myself. But I'm not going to show you guys the build this video. I planned on it. I'm going to show it to you guys next week. And this is what we're going to do. I'm making a Discord. I want you guys to join my Discord and private message me your build. I want to see your guys' build that gets 77 interior, 93 block, and ideally you get glitchy Cat Breakers. Why? Because I'm doing a top 10 builds, top 10 Vecna builds next week. And I will show mine as well, so it's really going to be 11. And you guys know anything about Stranger Things, that's a great play on the name, right? So it's going to be 11 builds next week. I will show you guys your guys' 10 plus mine. The 10 bills I will feature, I will give them $10, right? Cause I thought you had a top 10 bill, I will give you $10. So next week we got a $100 giveaway on the best Vecna builds. So that's what I want to see next week. And remember, I showed you guys the Cat Breaker method on perimeter, steal, block, interior, defense, rebound on the Vecna build, but don't put yourself in the box. I showed you guys how to glitch out drive dunk. I showed you guys how to glitch out steal. I showed you guys how to glitch out other categories. Use your imagination, be creative. But there are going to be some requirements. It must have 77 interior and 93 block. I don't care if it starts off like that. I don't care if it gets Cat Breaker all the way up to it. Those are the requirements. It also needs to get contact dunks, 87 drive and dunk or higher, and it also needs to get 85 rebound or higher for gold box out beat, so you could +2 that to legend. Now, we go over the attributes and the height. The height must be 6'8". The wingspan must be 7'2". I do not care for the weight. You could lower it, you could raise it, you could keep it the same. Do whatever you want to do. Those are the 4 requirements. So let's go over it again. Interior defense 77, block 93, drive and dunk 87 or higher, and then rebound, either category, 85 or higher. Does that make sense? I don't care how many Cat Breakers it takes either Top 10 builds, each person will win $10. Be sure to participate, join the Discord, have some fun. If you don't do your homework, in other words, you don't make this build, that's okay. You're just gonna have to see me in detention. Now, like I said, the giveaway be next week. The deadline for submissions will be January 20th at midnight Eastern Standard Time. That's next Tuesday. So you got just over 1 week to do it. Now, if you understand the cat breaker method at this point, type the number 3 in the comments so I can see this is the moment where it registered for you. Now let's go to our last and final example. Now let's test your understanding on a build that does not have glitched out cat breakers. This is my OG 6'8" build I made way back in season 1. It's not a bad build, but it doesn't have glitchy cat breakers. It has a bunch of +1s and +2s. Why is that? Pause the video you need to and think about it. Now here's the answer. All the things connected are too high. The steel, interior, and perimeter are all too high for glitchy steel cat breakers. If you want to get glitchy dunk cat breakers, the driving layup, the close shot, the vertical, and the block are all too high for that. If you want to get glitchy block cat breakers, the vertical, the rebound, the interior defense is all too high for that. If you want to get ball handle, right, the playmaking cat breakers, ball handle and speed with ball, those attributes are too high in addition to speed, which is speed with ball is tied to, and ball handle is tied to layup. All those attributes are too high. Does that make sense? Are you able to decipher why this build doesn't have glitchy cat breakers? Because you look here, I don't think it's a bad season 1 build or anything like that, but this is what it looks like. Definitely not ideal, especially in season 4 of 2K when everybody knows about glitching out cat breakers and stuff like that. Does that make sense? If this is the moment where it finally clicked for you, type the number 4 in the comment section down below. Now, this is a very complicated method. If I'm not explaining something clearly or you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comment section. If you are struggling to grasp this concept, type the number 5 and ask a question. I will try to assist you at the best of my abilities. Or you could just join the live stream and ask me directly. I will be streaming on TikTok, Twitch, and YT shortly after this video. Links will be in the description. Hope to see you there. As always, thanks so much for watching and God bless.